Hello everyone, happy Thursday, and welcome to the stream, Fantasy Flight Interactive stream for the Lord of the Rings Living Card Game. I am your host, as always. My name is Luke. I am the community manager here at Fantasy Flight Interactive. And I've got a couple new cards to show you today. We are going to be playing Quest 1 again. We played it on Tuesday, showed off Faramir a little bit. I'm going to be playing with Faramir again. This time the deck's going to include Legolas as in addition instead of Gimli in the place of him. It's an all-new deck, kind of built to show off these new cards that we're going to be looking at. So we can jump right in without further ado. I don't think I have a lot of housekeeping to get finished today. We got some changes to the deck builder, which I'm also going to show off, and we are going to show off the 45 threat event. So for people who missed Tuesday's stream, in order to make threat feel a little bit more like a integral part of the game, we've included something called threat events. So at certain thresholds, namely 35, 40, and 45, Sauron is going to get some kind of boost once you hit those threat levels, and that's going to make the game a little bit more difficult. So it's a bit about the timer kind of in the game, and it's to make the game feel a little bit more interactive on that metric and make threat matter a little bit more. So let's jump right in and take a look real quick at those new cards. As always, everything you see is going to be a work in progress. Nothing is final, subject to licensors, subject to development, subject to a lot of things like that too. And then on Tuesday, we are going to be showing off Sam Gamgee on stream. He's the last of the new heroes to show off, so we're going to be building decks with him, and then he'll be on Thursday's stream as well. So yeah, everything is subject to approval and subject to change. So let's jump back into the deck builder menu. Okay, so here's my deck for today, Faramir V2, as I have named it. We saw how powerful Faramir was. If you missed him on Tuesday's stream, here's a look at him again. He's got the ranged keyword. He also has a vanquish ability, so whenever he defeats a card. So it's not just about defeating enemies. Actually, when he clears an objective, he's also going to allow you to draw a card at that trigger. So without further ado, let's take a look at the deck and some of the new cards that are within the deck. Some people had mentioned on stream a couple days ago that Lembas was missing out of my collection. You know, we do resets as the game does new builds. It's not out of the game. It's still in the game. I'm looking quite delicious. I've skipped lunch, so I'm thinking right now about what Lembas might taste like. But yeah, this is another new feature. We have card previews within the deck builder, so we have them sorted by cost and color already. But now you can mouse over in order to take a look at the cards within your deck, and there's also a handy new drag and drop feature for deck building. So just a couple of the changes that we've been started to implement. You can kind of see how the banner changes too to match the art within the card, things like that. So let's take a look at some of these new Gloomy. Yeah, I see your question here. I think I answered it on stream, but if I missed it, yeah. So if you reduce your threat and then you increase it again, you're not going to see those events trigger more than once. Yeah, Pete, the keywords have been bolded. That was another thing that people had mentioned that we wanted to implement within the game to make it a little bit more readable. So you can see that within the deck builder, but you can see on the heroes and on certain cards, you're going to have bolded keywords. I already just accidentally clicked on the two new cards that we were going to show, but here's the first one. Sun and Riposte is a 2-cost lore event that allows you to exhaust an enemy when you play it. Pretty powerful cards. So actually this whole deck is, since we've got 2 ranged heroes and a bunch of ranged allies within this deck, it is basically built around exhausting enemies and dealing damage using that ranged ability to try to maximize the value out of that. So Sun and Riposte is a great addition to this deck. The other one is Malbung. We saw him within Faramir's pack. He also is ranged, and he exhausts a non-unique enemy on arrival. So he facilitates this strategy quite well. In terms of new cards, Trollshaw Scout. It's got Revenge, so when it dies, it's going to trigger. In this case, it's going to exhaust a random enemy. That's a non-unique. It's not within the text right now, but that is how the card functions. So it exhausts a random non-unique enemy when it dies. Basically, you want to activate this when you only have one enemy, so you can ensure that one is the one that gets exhausted. Sometimes if Sauron's got a bunch of bats out and like a 3/5, you can miss the bats, or you can miss the elite and hit one of the bats. And that's not ideal for the card, but there's a little bit of variance there, but it's still a pretty strong card, especially with the 2/2/2 stats. Pretty powerful. Yeah, it won't exhaust something that's already been exhausted, of course. Speaking of exhaustion, Forest Snare is one of the other new cards that I've got to show to you today. So this is another Valor card, and it's an attachment, and it goes onto enemies. So I don't think we've seen this yet. When Forest Snare goes onto an enemy, it will exhaust that enemy permanently. It can only go on non-unique, so you can't put it on bosses, and you can't put it on other unique cards that might come out of Sauron's deck. However, it is a way to mitigate if Sauron's putting a bunch of attachments on a non-unique enemy. If he's playing some giant thing, the Warg Riders, the Elites, any of those, Forest Snare can help you take him down. People who've opened up the core set will be familiar with this card as well. Let's see what else we've got here. And the final one that I've got for you today is the Westfold Outrider. 2 cost, 202, so an okay stat line for the cost, a little bit lower than the Lancer. However, its arrival ability is incredibly powerful. It deals 2 damage to an undamaged enemy. So an enemy at full health, you play the Westfold Outrider and you can deal 2 to that targeted enemy. A Rohan ally, and the only tactics card that I have to show you today within the Valor sphere, pretty powerful. Been a big fan of this card. It's a good way to spend your 2 resources, and it adds something to the board too. Not being able to contribute to willpower to quests kind of hurts. It's similar to the Archer in that respect, but the arrival is so powerful that it kind of makes up for it, I think. I've been liking this card a lot. This is my first time actually playing with it, was this morning, and it has served its purpose for sure. So those are the new cards I have to show you today. I believe one of them is a level 2 lore, but other than that, they're all level 1s. I'm looking for it right now in the deck builder here. Yeah, Sun and Riposte is actually a level 2 lore card. So because I have my 2 lore heroes, I can include it in the deck. Exhausting enemies is a really powerful effect along with ranged. There's some debate about like Feint versus Sun and Riposte I see in the chat already. Sun and Riposte is kind of a way to do it at an instant speed, and exhaustion helps with ranged specifically. So that's kind of the balance within the spheres, and kind of which one do you want to take within your deck. We are choosing to play both Feint and Sun and Riposte because both of those events are very powerful in this combat-centric deck. This deck is kind of slow. It's very powerful, but because you're going off of all these upkeep triggers and you've got a lot of ways to boost up your characters and attachments on your enemies with Forest Snare as well, the deck ends up playing kind of slowly. We are going to be getting to 45 threat. If we don't get there organically, I'm just going to hang out because I want to show that event triggering, which I got to do this morning. It's a pretty cool effect. So we're going to take a look at that today too. And we will jump in to Quest 1 here. Again, we played Quest 1 with it was Arwen, Gimli, and Faramir. We played that on Tuesday. We did pretty well for ourselves. I think this deck is a little bit more powerful. This was built in conjunction with some of the other people in the office, Charlie, who you guys have met, and Sean, our QA tester. We were talking a little bit about this strategy because they are a fan of these groups of heroes too. So shout out to those guys.
To reach his house, you must journey through the shadowy forest of Mirkwood.
Pete, that is an interesting distinction. I don't think we are considering them core. Generally, when we say core, it's the cards that people are getting for free within the actual set. So I think that's what we're calling core set, and then the rest are within just Valor cards, basically. But for sorting purposes, I suppose you could call it set 1 of Valor cards. Okay, so let's see what we're going to keep. We'll keep the Outrider for sure. We'll get rid of Gandalf because he's just a little bit too expensive. Get rid of Caregiver. Keep Mithrander's Advice and Self-Preservation. And that looks good to me. We're also not going to take a Valor card. I think this deck is powerful enough to not need one, basically, is why I want to do that. So we're going to skip that. Make our way through Mirkwood Forest here. Yeah, we see we've got a little bit of a broken tag here. We are a work in progress, of course, so we're going to see stuff like this, but let's deal that 1 damage. Let's put it on the orcs here, the elites. We've got a 2/2 with no abilities. We've got the elites who have Surge, so they can activate twice. We've got the Dol Guldur orcs who are giving us guards. We're going to have to attack them before anybody else. And we've got an Orc Hound, which is currently giving all of these Orcs pursuit, but I think our plan is to probably take them out anyway. The only one we can really leave on the board is the East Bight Patrol currently. Oh, excuse me. Did I say Valor card? I meant favor card. We're not taking a favor card with us. Alright, Westfold Outrider is going to take down... I'll just take down the East Bight Patrol with his activation. Then I will draw a card. Draw 2 here. And that'll end our activation phase here. Another Outrider's pretty good if he ends up playing anything else. I think... So normally we would wait to activate Legolas and Faramir, but I think here I'm okay with trading the 2 damage. Yeah, saw that coming. We want to use Faramir to take out the guard here so that we can draw a card with his Vanquish ability. Okay, so now that the Elite Orc... That's a lot of damage that he ended up dealing. I mean, that's a total of 6 from 1 card, basically, but now he's at least exhausted, and he's only at 1, so we can kill him with Legolas's ability on upkeep. We can't attack the Orc Hound in any way, and we're all exhausted, so let's end our adventuring phase here. Yeah, we are currently revising guard animations and things like that, so you're going to see those continue to change as we update the game. Some people are kind of noticing some new effects on that Dulcador Orc there. Take out the elites. I think I'm going to play out the scout here. It's not going to die, so we're going to have it ready for us at the next location, or if he plays something new. The other option would be to self-preservation and start getting value out of this card by playing it earlier. I think that makes a lot of sense too, but part of me wants to maximize our resources. I'm not sure. We can't Outrider, obviously. There's nothing on the board for us to Outrider. So it's either play out the scout and get it ready. It can also contribute to the objective. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because it's got the 2 willpower, and like we're going to be around on this board for a while if we don't get more willpower out. So let's do that. We'll just Vanquish. I don't mind taking the 1 point of damage to draw a card. It's a good trade in our favor. Legolas will complete that one, and we'll have the scout work toward the hidden path in order to progress to the next location. Alright, Arwen will heal herself since she's at 7. I think... Okay, so we got another guard out. That's fine. We're gonna Westfold it, and then finish it off with Faramir, and then just complete the objective. We could also just finish it off with Legolas. I think we're just gonna do Faramir, though. The idea being that since Vanquish triggers off of objectives, we could also just finish that with Faramir. But since he's got more life, I think I want to send him in. And that'll end our phase here. We really have to get these attachments out soon. We have to start getting them out. I mean, we're at 30 threats, so we're doing pretty well in that department. We have some time. But if we don't get them out now, we're going to just be behind on tempo once the board starts filling up later on in the adventure. We saw yesterday there were some difficulties with how many attachments Sauron was playing. We were falling behind a little bit, but we ended up okay. So hopefully things play out the same way. We're just drawing so many cards off Faramir too that like deciding on what to play is kind of a challenge in and of itself. We saw Ranger Spear on stream. This is a card that's going to be available in the Faramir Hero Pack, in the Rangers of Gondor pack. Okay. And we will travel.
You are traveling deeper into Mirkwood along an overgrown trail. when giant spiders.
Yeah, there's also some art updates. I think we saw the
One of your
Dulgador
friends
Orcs
in a
new
silken
art
cocoon
already,
with
but if you didn't, yeah, that is a new piece that was definitely different within the first couple builds of the game. There's a couple more updates too, especially to some of the quests that we haven't visited in a while, and hopefully on the upcoming streams we'll also do that. I think next week we're going to jump back into Quest 2 because Sam's got an ability that when he's on his own he can do some really cool stuff, so we'll probably check out Quest 2 next week and then we'll jump back in, go from there. Okay, so we have to rescue one of our allies. Currently it looks like it's Legolas who was captured, so 4 willpower when we get him back. Let's heal up. It doesn't really matter a ton here. Let's heal up Arwen. I'm always afraid of losing her. Yeah, it might have been a mistake to travel immediately there, Quad, because we did kind of lose the opportunity to put those attachments out, and now you see we've got a lot of enemies that can exhaust, and we're down a hero, so basically we're down an activation. 4 resources now, though. At least we can get started. Let's get a shield on Arwen. Let's put a spear on Faramir, especially since the Hummer Horns. We're going to go after them first because we don't want them to add another one to the board. Because of their attachment, we're going to need a total of 5 to take them down. And that is going to be our resources. So hopefully Faramir will be able to take them down with his activation. Yeah, Vanquish triggers whenever you defeat the enemy. So if he's defending and he defeats an enemy, he's still going to draw a card.
So be it.
Draw a card. There we go. Yeah, or objective, excuse me. I don't think I mentioned that for Vanquish. He's also going to draw a card if you complete objectives with him. So it's not just defending, it's any time that he defeats a card, period. Lulzer, I see 2 bugs, they're spiders. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Oh, what are you saying here? Hummer Horns displayed wide health on digit, despite having an attachment increase in spot. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, good call. Let's get a warrior sword out on Arwen. So we could use Sun and Riposte. I'm going to save it. It would have been pretty good. It would be pretty good against the end of towards the end of the adventure when we got a lot of enemies out with the boss. Here it's tough because we have to chew through this 8 points of defense. Kind of wish I was saved up and activated Bjorn. So we've got 5, and then if I Lembus, that's 8 total. So if the spiders don't attack, well, they're going to. If they don't attack first, we can Lembus and kill it off with Faramir this turn. Faramir and Arwen together. I guess that's our best chance. The other thing is that we could just Archer, take down this. Yeah, he's got Surge, so he's going to activate twice. Maybe that's just worth it. We're going to lose the Archer if we do that, but I think it's probably okay. Let's do that.
You breathe so loud I could shoot you in the dark.
Val, who are you saying that we should feint here? Feint the giant spider? Or the king spider? I don't know. I mean 2 points is like not that much. If we feint one of them, then it's possible that we don't lose the archer in that case. Oh, he has Surge too. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, let's feint him out. Good call. Yeah, let's feint him out. I missed that he got that too. Yeah, in this case it's you're getting rid of 4 damage. That's pretty big. That means we don't get to Lembus, but that's okay, I think. He's just not going to attack at all. That makes sense. Alright, we'll end our adventuring phase here. We could exhaust it now with Riposte, and we're not really down on cards. Like normally that would be bad card advantage to use 2 cards on the same guy here, but I don't think that's a huge problem. What are we going to lose here? Okay, we lost self-preservation. That's fine. I'm gonna caregiver because that just gives us more willpower on the board, and Faramir could use it. I'm gonna save my last resource then.
For Rivendell!
Let's just finish off the guard and draw a card.
For Rivendell!
Yeah, we'll leave this guy on the board. He's gonna get another attack in. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think our caregiver was long for this world anyway. Yeah, I attacked with Faramir there because he had more health, so I just wanted to block that as much as I could. Oop, that was an accident. Let's fight our way forward again so we can get our hands on the Elven Scout.
You have
Pretty powerful.
rescued your friend, but you quickly decide that your only chance of escape is to fight your way out.
Let's jump in. So we're at 35, so we're going to trigger that that threat event now on upkeep here. Sauron's going to gain his 3 resources, which puts him at a total of 7 now. Yeah, that's ridiculous. This is one of those new threat events that I was talking about. We reached 35, so Sauron gets access to 3 more resources as a bonus for him. We'll put the 1 on our elite orcs here. They've got Surge. I think we'll probably end up exhausting them. Who's getting block here? Man. That's really rough. Especially on the guard. Block adds up because, like, normally we'd just be able to take them out with the 2 of them. But he's basically getting +2 health, right? Because he's going to get hit twice and it's going to block 1 point each time. So we're going to need 3 activations in order to take him down then. That's really rough. I want to save 2 resources because I want to play Bjorn next turn, so I've got 2 to play with for the turn. Let me see what I've got. I'm going to riposte. See, this is interesting because I'm going to go after the guard this turn, but like I don't want to take the so do I use riposte defensively or do I use it offensively because of my ranged characters? I'm going to use it defensively. I'm just going to err on the side of caution, I guess. Oh, we want to save our 2 resources so that we can Bjorn next turn.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Yeah. Everybody's just going to come after because I do want to draw the card with Faramir, so. So we can Bjorn here. Ooh, Force Snare. Do we even Bjorn? Like, would it be better if we were to just Forest Snare? I'm going to take down this Hound. Would it be better if we just Forest Snare and then use the other 2 to put on an attachment? Oh, but that kind of changes our math too. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the Snare on the Elite Orcs here. Boom. So you see it pops up just like one of Sauron's attachments. I can take a look and see that I've got it on there, but it's permanently on that character now. I think we're going to Lembus because we want to take down the spider in this turn. So I'll attack first with Faramir here. Here I'm doing it because I'm planning on Lembusing him. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe you just still... Yeah. I mean, he's going to gain health off of that Lembus too, so... That makes sense to me. We'll leave him at 1 health so that we can finish him off with Legolas's ability. Deal 2 with the ranged ability. Lembus to ready and restore 2 health to Faramir. Take him down. Draw our card. Cool. And end our adventuring phase. On upkeep, we deal our 1. Oh, first we heal. We'll heal Arwen. She's taking quite a bit now. I think she had a shield on her. Did that get devoured? Yeah, that was what got devoured, not a self-preservation. We've lost a lot of our defensive attachments here. Engage, that is a good question, but no, you cannot negate pursuit if you use snare. Whether or not this persists from one location to the next, I actually haven't seen an attachment on a pursuit character, period, negative or positive otherwise, but that's something to think about. That's kind of funny. That's something to think about, though. I'm not sure how that ends up working. Alright, self-preservation. We'll put it on Legolas. Warrior sword, also on Legolas. And our planning phase.
You would die before.
So be it.
For Rivendell!
A
Oof.
red sun rises.
We are one willpower short. So normally it actually probably would have been correct, instead of playing these two out, it probably would have been correct to play out the Trollshaw Scout. So that we could add one to the board there. And another Elite Orcs. So this is gonna, here's the problem here. So normally we could just ignore this and move on. It's gonna get we're gonna quest, it'll get one activation, then we'll travel, it'll get a second activation, so we're gonna take 6 damage. If it decides to go after either of our heroes here, any of them actually, because we don't have a shield on any of them, if it goes after any of our heroes twice, we just lose that hero basically. So we're going to have to spend a card on it, just to be safe. And while we're here, I think we can round shield and get it on Faramir. He's been pretty aggressive this game. And our planning phase here. Yeah, we could riposte there too. Maybe better to use that than feint, but I'm fine here. We will end up questing with... Oh, I shouldn't have activated Faramir first there. That's a misplay. We'll kill it. We'll grab our Elven Scout. He's one of these special cards. He's not going to be added to your collection at all. He's a Sylvan, but he is... he's not added to your collection, but he's a special event card that only comes from this quest. So basically, this is the only time you're going to see him, unless he pops up in other ones. Oh, we have to kill everything in order to travel here. I thought it was that you could save the Elven Scout and then move forward. So we actually do have to take this guy out, so that's going to be another round. That's unfortunate. Hey, so feint only actually works on a non-unique character, so you can't use it on a boss. You can only use it on non-uniques. Deal 1 here. Well, while we're here, I guess we'll draw a card with Faramir. That means we're going to go into the last leg of the quest at 40 threat here. That's fine. I mean, we want to see that 45 threat event anyway. This has even changed since Tuesday, so the 40 threat event now. Oh, it'll trigger on the next upkeep. We'll take a look at it in a second here. While we're here, I suppose we can play out more attachments. Get a self-preservation on Arwen. And our planning.
So be it.
And we'll travel forward. Valen, that is a good question. I'm not sure if where Scout would show up in the deck builder, if at all. But he is technically a subtype from that quest, so he's attached to that card. So I'm not sure where you would find him in the deck builder if you could.
As you look for a place to ford, a giant creature emerges from the...
Yeah, Viv, that was a misplay on my part too, not attacking with the Elven Scout. You could have done that. I just wasn't thinking of him as a card in my repertoire there. Alright, so we are on our last leg of the adventure here. Sauron's gonna gain it. So this goes off at 40 threat because of the weird traveling and him playing the hunted card. It goes off every upkeep, so this is the next upkeep since then. Sauron gets a free treachery card out into play. He doesn't have to play any resources, not from his hand. He basically gets to search his deck for a treachery and put it into play. So that's what just happened there. Deal 1 there. Beastmaster is going to bring with it an Orc Hound. We could Tom this round. I kind of want to save Tom for something really good. Well, now Orkhound might be worth Tomming now. We'd also Mablung to exhaust it. Tom also works on non-uniques only, so we can't interact with the boss with him yet. Oh, Riposte is going to work. Does Riposte work against bosses? It doesn't say. Yeah, wow. Oh, I had no idea. So Riposte is another way to exhaust. So that's another reason why you might take that over Feint. It works against boss characters. That's super powerful. It just doesn't care about that at all. Wow. I think we have an offensive attachment on all, so we can spend our Ranger Spear and put it on our Scout. He's basically a hero, with his stat line being what it is, and our planning phase. I agree. Drawing cards is fun. I like doing it, and I would like to continue doing it. I'm gonna pile everybody on our Marsh Adder for as long as we can here, since he's currently exhausted. Yeah, I was wrong about that, Penguins. I thought it was non-unique. I misread the card. Powerful. Okay, like I said, we're going to stick around to 45 so we can see it, but you can see already how well we're doing within this quest. This deck has done well, and now that we've built around a synergy, kind of built for the location, we've got a new element to how we play the game, basically. We're built around this exhausting and this ranged ability, so we're able to do pretty well with this deck. Yeah, Riposte is double lore quad, as we pointed out, so it's got to be pretty good, basically. Let's exhaust the Hound here with Mablung. Like I said, we're going to toy with them a little bit so that we can see that last threat event. It's currently bugged, so one of the things is, one of its abilities is not going to go off, but we can talk about that once it comes out. So Engage, are you saying, like, can you choose not to activate upkeep abilities? Currently, you cannot. So every triggered ability is currently mandatory within the game. So you have to heal. If for some reason you didn't want to heal, like if say Bjorn was your only damaged character, you didn't want to heal him because you wanted the health buff, you wouldn't be able to choose to do that. Same with dealing damage with Legolas. Like maybe you want to activate Faramir or something. You can't currently cancel out upkeep abilities right now within the game. So I'm going to work towards this objective because, like I said, we're going to wait till we get 45 threat. Speaking of which, this mandatory damage means that we might actually end up triggering it. Because on upkeep, he's going to deal the 1.
So be it.
Oof. That's kind of funny. Yeah, so despite my best efforts, we are going to be triggering this and defeating this enemy. We'll jump back in real quick and we'll do it one more time. But we'll hang out to try to show you guys that. But that was completed with no favor card. Pretty great. Pretty happy about that. Good score because we had all of our heroes left. A lot of health too, and final threat level is pretty high. But like I said, we were kind of stalling there. I think we could have easily hit 40 and beaten there if we tried, but I'm not sure. We will jump back in. Yeah, not a lot of cards left in my deck there towards the end because we were drawing so many with Faramir. We can try a different... Let's jump back into Lost in Mirkwood, take a look at this. We'll try to get to 45 threat and take a look at that real quick here.
You have escaped.
Let's see what we've got. I'm gonna keep Mablung. I'm gonna keep Advice. I'm gonna keep Archer too because I know there's the bats to take out there. No favor card again. And we will hit continue. Deal 1 to the bats. East Bay Patrol comes into play. We'll exhaust the bear with Mablung.
My Lord Faramir.
Yeah, Faramir is really powerful for sure. See, there's been a lot of chatter about him and where he's at.
So be it.
We are still deciding as well. It's no secret that he's very, very good. Val, yeah, there is a way. It's currently not built into the game, but you're going to be able to... Oh, there it is, actually, yeah. You can see how many cards are left in your deck just by mousing over like this. Deal 1. There's the sniper. I'll just Faramir down the spider there. Lost Mablung, unfortunately. Let's draw some cards, see what we get. Ranger Spear, Westfold Outrider. Sniper activates. Use range to take out the bear. I am going to attack with Arwen here because that way we can set it to 1 and kill it with Legolas on upkeep. Deal 1. Out comes a King Spider. I'm going to save our Westfold Riders. I'm going to be really aggressive about taking out a... Oh, meant to play a ranged spear. That's fine. I just said I was going to save him, but we're actually going to... We'll just activate him. That's not a huge deal. Like I said, we were going to be very aggressive with taking out enemies because we're trying to get our threat up. So we're going to hang out for a long time. I'm not going to be playing completely optimally here. But you guys are used to seeing that, me playing suboptimally. In any case, yeah. I really want to be able to show this new event to you guys because I know a lot of people were asking about it. And it is pretty interesting, I think, so. I think it's worth taking a look at.
So be it.
Take him down, draw our card. End our adventuring phase. Another veteran patrol. 2/4 guard. And we will put a spear out on Legolas. We're going to have a beefed up party by the end of this adventure.
So be it.
We'll just take him out, draw our card. Work toward the objective. This is one of the ones with branching paths, so we can either travel immediately to Forest Stream or Bear Hilltop. Here we're going to go towards the Bear Hilltop. Arwen will heal Faramir, she'll heal herself. Oh, well, that steals a turn from us and 2 cards. Which two did he grab? He grabbed the Archer and the Ranger Spear. That's annoying. So, because of the way exhaustion works, normally if he has enemies, you know, it gives them kind of an alpha strike. Here, it's just going to steal a turn from us and up our threat, which is fine for our purposes, but normally is pretty annoying once he plays that card. Exhaustion is very powerful, especially for 3 cost. There's Muck Adder. It's going to go after... Well, they're all at the same health, so it can go after any of them. The Mirkwood Flock. Yeah. I do need doomed cards out, right? Let's end our planning phase. Attack the Muck Adder, draw a card.
A red sun rises.
We're going to trigger the first threat event here on this next upkeep. That's fine. We have a lot of resources too. We can start spending these. I think we have full attachments on all our characters at this point. No. 1, 2. Yeah, we don't have near that. Orc Marauder's in play. It's going to give Sauron a resource whenever it attacks. I'm just seeing if we have any attachments we can throw on. We'll pull one on Arwen. Normally I wasn't like... Before, when I was playing the game, when I first started, I kind of just kept Arwen as like adventure. Since I used her to quest so much, I usually didn't buff her attack. Now I've been putting warrior swords on her to just make her trade better when she gets attacked by enemies, and it's been really, really helpful. That is like one thing definitely that I have changed in my strategy. Before I thought, oh yeah, well I've got my other combat-oriented characters, like I shouldn't waste those attachments on her if she's not going to be attacking. But as it turns out, like it's kind of just better in a lot of cases to do that. I'm gonna get our... I'm gonna take our enemy out here, and then we'll complete the objective. Card format's not final. Nothing is final. Nothing is... everything's subject to change. And we're traveling.
A sea of green spreads for miles in all directions from your view atop a low hill. Scanning the horizon, you notice a faint trail.
Okay, Arwen's going to heal. So here we can either choose to search for the path to complete the objective as quick as possible, or we can investigate the smoke. We're going to be doing that. It's a little bit more combat focused, and it should keep us on the board for longer. We are going to play out the Black Forest bats here. End our planning phase. Move into adventure.
For Rivendell!
Normally I wouldn't have... we got our boost from Ranger Spear. You see that activate. Normally I wouldn't have skipped our planning, obviously, but here we're trying to move forward. So we're not going to draw there because we're at a maximum hand size. So that is the maximum. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like we had said before. You won't draw at all if you're at your maximum. You don't burn a card, anything like that, or have to discard. You just simply sit at your 9 until you play. Yep, that's right, Quad. So now I can play these out. Now with the 9 resources too, we can basically dump our hand here. Sauron passes, decides not to attack with his wargs. We go up to 37 threat because we've got some threatening. Sauron gains his 3 resources. Goes up to 6. Here, Arwen, we could have healed Legolas here. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure we get these threat events to trigger so you can take a look at this new card. It's pretty exciting. Wild Bear comes out. Pursuit and Stalwart. Mirkwood Flock. Yeah, these bolded keywords definitely make the cards a lot more easy to read, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of these. Yep, there is a counter for the amount of cards left in the deck. Attachment out here. Snare the Bear. We can test that too and see if that persists once he pursues you. So we're going to leave him on the board and take a look and see how that works. Because I'm actually not sure. Then we will Archer down the Warg.
You breathe so loud I could shoot you in the dark.
Play out 2 of them.
You breathe so loud I could shoot you in the dark.
Boom, boom. End our planning phase. Move into adventuring.
A red sunrise.
So be it.
For Rivendell!
Yeah, there's a bit of a spelling error within it right now. As you can see, that's placeholder text left from the studio, but
A red sun rises.
it is a system for knowing how many cards are left in your deck, and you can kind of see how it's getting thinner too. That's an effect that we're playing around with as well. I'll put one on him. Shows you how many are left within your deck. I'll poke again, that's fine. Oof, okay, well we have to take these guys out or else they'll pursue too. That's fine. We'll get to 40 here and then move on to the next location. See if we can get to 45 there.
We come riding.
Yeah, we have not shown all of the Valor cards. There's still quite a few Valor cards left to be shown. So you might see some more cards of certain types or with certain keywords that you haven't seen as much of yet. So keep that in mind. Draw Faramir. We're going to run out of cards soon, though. We will draw probably on the next upkeep there with the instant traveling.
Navigating toward the smoke as best you can through the dense forest.
Find our village of woodmen here. There's our draw. Heal up. Deal 1. 10 resources is ridiculous. At least we can use some of those to play out Tom here.
Tom remembers the first rain and the first acorn.
Play out another ally.
The hidden arrow strikes true.
And we will feint out our elite orcs here.
You would die before your stroke fell.
My arrow flies!
We will use Tom to attack into the elite orcs. Since he has fleeting, he's going to be leaving the board anyway. Looks like the forest snare did stay on the pursuit enemy here, so those are going to persist. Attachments will persist for pursuit enemies from one location to the next, which is pretty cool. Eventually we're going to have to take him out, so let's do that.
So be it.
Take him down there. Draw our card. Attack here. So I'm going to... Did I do it again? I did it again. I did it again because Legolas's ability is going to trigger now. And I'm going to defeat the last enemy in play. I was not even thinking about it this time. Oh, I am so disappointed with myself. I am so sorry, you guys. So we didn't hit that 45 threat again.
You have escaped.
Man, that is a bummer. Somebody clip that for me, please. I want to see my face when I realize that exact moment where we didn't get to add in the extra threat. What a bummer. I am sorry. Sorry, folks. Yeah, so we can jump in and take a look real quick. I suppose we can hang out and I can answer some questions while we get up to 45 threat. So I'm going to jump in with the same deck and just not... Yeah, exactly, McDog. I'm just like, oh man, I can't believe how good I am at this game. I keep on just winning. What's wrong with me? I can answer some questions while we just move it up. I don't really want to tell you guys. I don't think that's really that exciting. Or we can just save it for Tuesday, which is what we might have to do here because we're out of time. Yeah, exactly, Engage. We need to figure out a way to cancel or else I'm too good at the game. So I will show you the 45 threat event on Tuesday's stream. We're going to have to jump out here. But basically what happens is there is a unique card that comes into play. The unique card, like I said, it's not functional right now either, so it would be better to show when it is entirely functional. The unique card's stat line, which I'm not positive about, maybe somebody can help me out within the in the studio chat that we've got going here. The unique card that comes out on 45 is called the Agent of Sauron. It is a very, very powerful single enemy card here, with a bunch of different abilities and a bunch of different and a very high attack stat and a very high defense. It is brand new, pretty exciting here, pretty powerful. It has Surge, it has Stalwart, and it has Fleeting. So it's going to get in multiple activations. It's going to get multiple activations when it comes into play, but then that Fleeting means it's going to leave after a single turn. So it's going to deal upwards of... It's going to deal a lot of damage to you, basically, and then leave. We got some cool art for it, too, and some cool VFX. So we'll be able to show that on Tuesday's stream. We will double it. We will show it one more time and take a look at that. I'm sorry that we weren't able to do it today because of those activations. Yeah, very high health. Excuse me. So, a couple of other things before we go. If you are looking forward to the game, getting ready for that release, try to please wishlist it on Steam. It is the best way to let our publishers know that we have a big audience waiting for the game to come out. Let it out as soon as possible. So those wish lists really help us, guys. You can follow us on Twitter at FFI_games. You can follow us on Facebook.com/FFI games. I posted about the stream on that page, and we got a pretty healthy response. So if there's any new viewers that have come over from Facebook, welcome. Please follow us. You can follow us here on twitch.tv/FFI games. You can find us on youtube.com/fantasyflightinteractive. That's capital F, capital F, capital I. We've been uploading clips of old streams over there. That's been going pretty well. It's cool to get those up. You know, I get to do a little editing, get them out, and you can watch those full streams. So a lot of people have been catching up with some of the old VODs there and seeing how the game's improved since then. Last note about FFI, we are hiring. We're hiring a technical game designer. So we're looking for somebody who's done a little bit of scripting, worked a little bit maybe in Python, some Unity, knows Unreal, you know, General Suite, has some experience within game design, but we're also looking for somebody who knows their stuff about card games, basically. So you can find that technical designer role. You can find that on our page, on the careers page at fantasyflightinteractive.com. You can also find it on the Asmodee North America career page. Apply. If you have any interest in the job and you have those qualifications, we'd really like to have somebody join the team. So we're looking for more apps coming in. So yeah, we're hiring. Please come join us here in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin, so you can help us make this game great and any games and any projects in the future as well. So thanks again for joining us. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Tuesday for hopefully 45 Threat and some other stuff. We'll show you Sam for the first time. He's great. We'll also take a look at the cards from his hero packs, so we'll be spoiling those. And then next Thursday, too, if all goes as planned, we will probably do another stream where we'll be showing off some more Valor cards and add those, too. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. And let us know if you have any feedback. You can join us on the Steam community. And like I said, wishlists will always help. And following us on those social media platforms, too, so you can keep up to date with the latest updates on everything. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us today. And check out those... thanks for checking us out today, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I've been reading these different chat messages as I'm trying to do my end spiel here, because we got a pretty active chat today. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys, and have a good one.